Hello everyone. I suspect most of us here take digital photos these days. My talk tonight is about intermediate photo organization tips. And my aim at intermediate photographers is for people that have between 5,000 and 10,000 images. Does this seem like a lot? Most people here either have that many or will have that many images over the next few years. What are you going to do with all of those images? 10,000 of them. How many pieces of paper are on this table right now? What do you think, Kevin? Maybe 200?
About that.
About
225.
Putting in 10,000 here. Okay? We need to be able to organize that many images. We all feel that digital photography and taking photographs is important, isn't it? It's an important thing. That's why we do it. We want to capture these extremely precious moments. But taking them and losing them and not being able to organize them is a terrible thing. So, as a beginner, you may start off with a few hundred photos. I covered some of the beginning tips the last time I spoke. Next time I speak, in a few weeks from now, it's going to be about advanced tips. Tonight, some more intermediate. When you've got about this many photos, and some tips, 4 of them again, that are not as advanced as they could be, but I'm trying to get just kind of in between here, okay? So, first tip. Duplicates. Be very careful with duplicating your images. Okay? First of all, when you take images out of your camera, don't copy them. Move them out of your camera. Okay? You want to move them into a given source. Okay? So you want to move them to your main place. Okay? And everybody should have a primary source for their images. We're going to share them. We're going to put them on Facebook. We're going to put them on our iPad. We're going to put them on different places where we're going to share them and move them around. And we're going to copy them. We're going to duplicate them. And we're going to do things with them. Because everyone's not necessarily going to come to our computer to look at them. But no matter whatever you do with them, remember that you always need to have a solid source of where your main images are. Now, it's a great idea to bring photos with you. I mean, you want to be able to do that, right? You want to put them on your iPad. You want to perhaps even buy a big memory card for your camera so that you can put images back and you can just use your big screens on your camera these days, you know, to show those images. Okay? But always have a source and be very careful not to have duplicates in your copy, in your collection. Number 2. When you're shooting, think organization. Okay? This might be something new for most people here. When you're shooting, you think, I should be thinking about shooting. And you should be thinking about what you're shooting. You should be focused on that a great deal. I bring this up because what you need to do is even when you're shooting your images, you need to be thinking, oh, I'm going to be organizing these. How do they get organized? You're not a beginner anymore. You're somebody who's taking a lot of digital photos. And you've got a lot. What are you going to do with them? Organization has to be a part of your photography mindset. You have to get it in your head. You have to think organization. You can't, it's not a dirty little side thing when it comes to digital photography. It has to be a primary part of what you think about anytime you're involved in taking photographs. Think about it up front. When you're walking around the city, you might think, you might have a collection of favorite architectural images. So you want to be thinking, I'm going to put these in this group. I want to organize them in this way. If you're taking pictures of kids or family or famous landmarks while you're traveling, where are you going to be putting them? Think about organization all the time. Don't just ignore organization, shoot all the images you want, come home, dump them onto your computer, and just not want to deal with organization. Even way back when you're shooting, think organization. Number 3. Data. I mentioned this the last time, that data or tags for your photos is important. I'm mentioning it again this time. And in my more advanced session, I'm going to mention it again. If you want to organize images and you want to be able to find them years and years from now, you've got to do this. You've got to tag and put data on your images. That only takes about 15 minutes. If you can go off and do it, take hundreds of photos, it only takes 15 minutes to put some data on there. And when you put your data on there, the data is there forever for the life of the image. You can come back 10 years from now and do a search for Sarah, Eiffel Tower, and there you are, you'll find them. It only takes 15 minutes because you can choose all your images and type Paris. You can choose a few of them and say Eiffel Tower. And then you can pick a bunch of them with all your friends and family that are in there. So you don't select, and say Harry. Right? And they're there. They're there for a long, long time. And number 4, software. R-E. Everybody here needs to choose software to help organize their images. Just dumping them onto folders is not really enough. At some point in time, you need to choose some software to help you organize your images. There are programs such as Lightroom. It's becoming a favorite these days. It's done by Adobe, very solid program. There's AC/DC, a Vancouver company. That's been around for many, many years. Another excellent package. And there's my own software, of course, which I use to organize my images, and I have been using it for about 5 years now, which is also excellent. And I have 57,000 images in my collection, by the way, and growing, almost 58 now, not 10,000. And I organize them very nicely with this one here. But I could do it probably just as well with either one of these right here, I have to say. But you do need to start looking at using some software and sticking with it over the years and learn it. Play with them, experiment with them on copies of or subsets of your images, and then go back to your, and then you can start using it for your main, on your main source of images as well. So, in summary, everyone's going to end up with a lot of images over the years. Think about organization from the beginning to the end, anytime you have anything to do with photography. Digital photography equals computers, and computers equals software and organization of your images, okay? Keep these 4 in mind, and many, many years from now, you will be very happy that you started following these rules and be able to find images in your much better organized collection.